All right, so I want to talk to you real quick about something I think is really important as you game plan. The team you are playing this week is not the team that you are watching on film right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter. We talk a lot of ball there, and let me get into this. So why aren't they? All right, we play West High. We're watching West High. What do you mean we're not playing West High? Who are we playing? Now you're going to play West High, but the West High team that you play Friday night is not the West High team that played last Friday night. They're going to do some things to get better. They're going to make corrections. They're going to add some new wrinkles. All right, someone's coming back from injury. They're going to spend the week preparing for you the same way you're preparing for them. They're going to find some weakness that they're going to want to exploit. So remember, that team that you're going to play is not going to be the same team. Why do I tell you this? Have you ever played a game that you thought you were going to win? Game's over, you get beat, and you say, what the heck happened? Or a team that you thought you're going to beat by 35 points and you beat them by 7, because we've all been there. All right, we've all been in that situation. I want you to never be in it again. I don't ever want to be in it again. So here's some things not to do. All right, these are things that'll lead to those disappointments. Don't compare scores. Here's what it's all about. We are preparing each day to be the best we can be. We're preparing each day to perform at a higher level than we performed the day before. We're trying to play every game to perform at a level higher than what we played last game, regardless of our opponent. Our opponent, other than the preparation we need to do for personnel and scheme, our opponent's irrelevant. The biggest opponent you face is you. All right, don't forget that. So here we are. What are we doing? Guys are going, well, we're going to play them. They played this team, beat them by 30. We played this team, beat them by 50. Or they beat that team that beat us. It's a two-way street. Don't compare scores because they don't matter. Matchups don't matter. This Friday ain't last Friday. All right. We're a different team than when we played, a common opponent. All right. So don't compare scores. Don't say things like, man, we should score 50 on these guys. There's no way they can score on us. Don't say stuff like that. I've heard kids, and I've even heard a few coaches say, well, we beat them last year. We should beat them this year. I heard a coach one year tell me, I asked him, how do you feel? Because they were getting ready to play a pretty good team. It was a team in a smaller classification, class below them. I said, how do you feel? And he said, they've never beaten us. It's never even been close. Well, they got beat, and it wasn't close. They got hammered. They got beat, I think it was like 40-10. All right, it wasn't even a close game. So you can't think like that. The past is the past. Last year is last year, man. Last week is last week. Or you'll hear something like, we won last week against a better team, so we should win this week. We should beat these guys. Don't do that. All right? Those are things that are going to lead you to disappointment. Don't start looking past people. All right? Don't start looking past the people you're about to play. Now, I was in a situation where we had a really talented team. We were really good, and we were getting ready to play someone that was really, really, really not good. We didn't look past them, but we did add a little extra tutorial time. We pulled back a little bit off practice time, but we did it in such a way that it didn't send them any message to our players. All we did was talk this team up about the importance of it. And we said, they're really physical. And that's why we're going to pull off you just a little bit this week so we can save it all for Friday night. All right. How you set that up with your team is important. Do not start looking at that next opponent that you're going to play in 2 weeks. And if you're going to do a little bit of that, don't let your coaches, if you're a head coach, or a coordinator, be careful with that with your coaches and especially with your kids, because if they recognize you're doing that, they may start, it mentally affects you. All right. And then don't forget how you got here. My second year as an offense coordinator, we had taken over a program that had been, lost 27 games in a row. Some of you guys see me speak at clinics and read some stuff I've written and talked about the process of turning that program around. And the second year, we turned it around. First year we go 6-4. Second year we make the playoffs. It was actually the third year. We had a bunch of guys back. We felt really good. We were off to a great start. We played a team that was going to be terrible. It was homecoming, and we beat them 24-0. And we were disappointed. All right, always enjoy the win. But the reason that I was really disappointed was not that we only beat them 24-0, but the fact that we took them lightly. And that's why we only beat them 24-0. We had the year before we beat them by 50 points, and we really felt like we were going to do that again. And we didn't prepare that way. Our behaviors didn't match that. We thought we were going to walk out on the field and they were going to fall down for us. All right. And it was a great lesson as a young coach. So don't forget how you got here. Don't forget the hard work it takes to get somewhere. All right. Things you must do. Respect your opponent. And when I say that, you're respecting the game. All right. Respect the game. You never know what's going to happen between last week and this week. I've unfortunately in my career had a couple of really heartbreaking losses where we should have won games. And I can tell you that when we lost to teams that were inferior to us on paper, it was because of our mentality. We chose to allow them to beat us. We chose. You're your own worst enemy, and we were our own worst enemy because we allowed complacency to creep in. And then we got beat by someone that we shouldn't have got beat by. And there is nothing worse than that. All right. So respect your opponent. More importantly, respect the game. All right. You're not here to play to the level of your opponent. You're here to play to your best level. Make them play to you. You're not playing to them. Prepare with hunger. All right. Never go into a game thinking, oh man, we got to play that. Don't ever have that attitude. You only get one a week. Football's very, very unique in that there is one chance a week. You get one test a week. Basketball, you lose on Tuesday. You can come back, play on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Baseball, you lose on Monday. You're going to come back and play 3 more games that week. But football, you get one shot. You get one chance a week. You only get one chance to play each opponent unless you match up to them in the playoffs. So you need to be hungry every single week and cherish it. Prepare for the best your opponent's going to bring. I can't say that enough. All right? They're going to come out and they're going to be different. We played a team just a couple of years ago, played a team that had really struggled, and they come out. Well, it turned out they had 2 kids we didn't even know. They had 2 kids that had transferred in from out of state that had only played JV football. And we heard their JV was really good. They had a couple of good players. We didn't know those guys were going to play varsity. They came up. They got eligible. All right. We played them non-district game, and all of a sudden they had these 2 dudes that were dudes now. And if you don't prepare to face someone that's going to have someone that was hurt or someone that wasn't eligible, or they put something new in, or they figured something out, they gained a little bit of confidence. All right. You're going to find yourself disappointed. So always prepare for the best they're going to bring and be humble in success. Don't ever forget how you become successful. All right. Every game is won and lost before it's played. I firmly believe that. First, it starts with beliefs. The man who believes he can and the man who believes he can't are both right. All right. You have to believe that you can win. I've been on teams, I told you I've been in some turnaround situations where we go into a place and, we're playing people, we're at a severe talent deficiency. When you're at that talent deficiency, you've got to find a way to get your guys, and you've got to believe. If you don't believe it, your kids won't believe it. All right. You've got to get your guys to believe that they've earned the right. Now, I always say there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. All right. Do you believe you can win because you've earned the right to win, or because you're entitled to it? All right. Because they should fall over for you. How are these games won and lost? Well, belief, and then off-season, summer conditioning, fall camp, weekly preparation, all matter. All right. Standards and expectations. If you have high standards and expectations and you have high accountability to those standards, all right, you're developing a mentality and a culture of believing that you have earned the right to win. And I put weekly preparation there again, because if you go into a game and don't prepare, don't do a great job of preparation, you're not putting yourself in the best position to be your best. So let's talk real quick about confidence and arrogance. All right. What is confidence? Confidence is believing you will have success because you have earned the right to win through hard work, preparation, and good habits. Those winning habits. You either have habits that are empowering or habits that are building entitlement. As a coach, you are either leading people to be empowered or leading them to be entitled. And then arrogance. Arrogance is where you think you're entitled to win regardless of whether you have winning habits. All right. We see this a lot where programs will get really good. All right. To where they're every year, they're, 9, 10, 11 game winner, 12 game winner. They're making playoff runs, and they're doing all the right things every year. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they lose that. They lose that same hunger, that same desire. A lot of people struggle when they go from being the hunter to the hunted. A lot of people struggle when they all of a sudden they can't get a game scheduled. They go from being everybody's homecoming, all of a sudden they have success, nobody wants to play them, and now they've got a battle. They've got the battle in the mind. All right, and that's a difficult thing for a lot of people to deal with. A lot of people struggle dealing with failure, but even more people struggle with continuing to grow when you're successful. All right. You should never talk about, well, we need to maintain where we are. You are never maintaining. You are getting better, you're getting stronger, or you're getting weaker. It's the same thing, lifting in season. I've been in programs, early in my career, we took so much pride in our weight room during the season that our practice time on the field was a little bit less because we felt lifting was that important. All right. We spent a little bit more time in the weight room. And because the weight room's an equalizer, man, if they're more talented than us, but we're stronger than them, they may be a little more athletic, but if we're stronger and more explosive, we're giving ourselves a better chance. We know games are won and lost up front. If we're a little bit more physical than our opponent, if they got that big running back, but we're strong enough to take him down, it's going to help us win the football game. All right. We felt that was that important, that we were going to get stronger during the season. We were charting everything we were doing. Our guys were recording on a card what they were doing so that we could see ourselves getting stronger. That also built confidence. And that all came from when we took over and those kids had never won a football game at any level. And we had to build confidence. Well, when they see themselves getting stronger, that builds confidence. If they feel it, that's one thing. But if they can look at it tangibly on paper, that matters. All right. So confidence is doing everything the right way to earn the right through your hard work, through your preparation, through your good habits, to know that you have earned the right to win that football game. And arrogance is where you think you're entitled to win. All right. That just because of your very existence, that you should win the football game. I've seen both. All right. I talked to coaches throughout the week, and the number one thing that guys have told me, after this first week in Texas, and I've got some guys I talked to that have played 2 or 3 games already and they've already had some disappointment. One of them said, we took them lightly. We went into this game because we had beaten them last year. We took them lightly. Don't take anybody lightly. When you watch their film, you prepare for their best. And remember, you're always trying to be your best. That's your goal. That's the biggest enemy that you're going to face, is the one you look at in the mirror, the one that tells you you've already arrived, the one that tells you that, well, you can't do it anyway, so why are you going to try? That enemy. You need to, if you can overcome yourself, then you're going to be successful on the field. And again, the scoreboard takes care of itself if you do everything else right. But if you're only worried about the scoreboard, you're taking the focus off doing the things right it takes to get the scoreboard where you need it to be. Wish you the best. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's talk some ball on Twitter. I'm going to put some links down below to my blog and things like that. And I wish you the best.